Hi, my name is Audrey, and I'll be presenting about the First Church of Christ, also known as Christian Science. For the purpose of time, I'll be abbreviating Christian Science to CS. I want to start off with this believer's testimony about his connection between trying to find a job and his relationship with prayer and God.
I'd been feeling a lot of fear and anxiety about not being able to find an opportunity. It felt like maybe I would never be able to find work again. Praying in this way, acknowledging that there is a source that I can rely on, something sustaining, that gave me a real sense of peace. After this shift in thought, acknowledging where my true sense of supply and purpose comes from, I had a shift in my experience.
As a lifelong Bible learner, at 45 years old, Mary Baker Eddy miraculously recovers from the effects of an accident through prayer and Bible reading, which began her journey of founding Christian Science. Through this practice of Bible study and prayer, she discovered that spiritual healing was based on divine laws anyone could apply. She realized it wasn't miraculous, but a natural result of understanding God's power and love. For the next 40 years, Mary Baker Eddy practiced and taught this science of Christianity, often healing cases doctors had given up on. Over time, she compiled her notes and wrote a book called Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, which we'll dive into a little bit later. She officially established a community of believers called Church of Christ Scientists. This slideshow will continue to give you insight into the church's beliefs. One of the most important beliefs in CS is that God is completely good, loving, and all powerful. There is no part of God that causes harm, sickness, or evil. And this belief shapes how followers see the world, not as something random or dangerous, but as something guided by divine love. Christian scientists believe that everything truly real is actually spiritual, not physical. The world we experience with our senses, like pain, sickness, and even death, is seen as a kind of illusion. They believe we are actually spiritual beings made in the image and likeness of God. This belief leads them to rely more on prayer and spiritual understanding rather than medicine or physical treatments. And because God is only good, CS believe that things like sin, sickness, death don't come from God, and therefore aren't truly real. These problems are seen as mental or spiritual mistakes, which can be corrected through prayer and understanding God's truth. They believe that Jesus proved this when he healed people, and that his example shows what is spiritually possible for everyone. One of the most well-known parts of Christian Science is its emphasis on healing through prayer. Followers believe that by aligning their thoughts with God's truth, they can overcome both physical and emotional problems. This kind of healing isn't seen as miraculous. It's considered a natural result of understanding God's laws. Let's take a deeper look into this. A central part of CS is the belief that prayer can heal. But this isn't just asking God for help, it's a deeper kind of prayer. It involves understanding God's nature as purely good and realizing that we're spiritual beings made in God's image. And when someone fully accepts this spiritual truth, healing is believed to naturally follow. Because of this, the church endorses followers to serve by becoming CS practitioners and nurses. Practitioners are individuals who have chosen to dedicate their lives to following the example of Jesus. When someone calls on them, their role is to pray and help you find solutions to any problem. They can do this through email, telephone, or face-to-face consultation. They're trained in a 2-week course based on chapter in their text, Science and Health. Practitioners are self-employed and don't receive any form of payment directly from the church. Nurses work alongside practitioners, but they also aid in healing prayer. In addition, they can assist troubled people with things like personal cleanliness, standing and walking, cleansing, bandaging, preparing food, helping people to eat, reading aloud the Bible, and Mary's writings. They cannot make a medical diagnosis, administer medication, any type of massage or physical therapy, give personal advice or counsel. And at CS nursing facilities, patients can receive 24/7 care from CS nurses and practitioners. However, there's been question as to how reliable these places are. In The Guardian magazine, the daughter of a CS believer recounts the story of her father's experience dealing with CS nursing in their facilities. He'd been dealing with a foot wound for a while and at first saw a medical doctor, but refused to receive care from them because he believed God could heal him naturally, and he decided to hire a CS nurse. But all she could do was pray with him and encourage him to write miracles he saw through prayer. Eventually, he checked himself into a CS nursing facility where he would stay for 7 months, receiving no medical care. His foot fell off, and a little while later, he died there. You can pause this video to read the quote because I think it's very important to see this firsthand account. As gruesome as the story is, it's important to note that not all Christian scientists reject medical care. Though many choose to rely on prayer alone, they don't disregard the legitimacy of seeking help from outside doctors and do uphold public health laws. Their choice is based on personal faith and spiritual healing and isn't made lightly. The focus is always on aligning with God's truth and love, not ignoring problems. Alongside the infamous Bible, CS believers also read Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures. It starts off with a preface page and follows with 18 chapters, each on different topics such as prayer, creation, physiology, animal magnetism unlocked, the apocalypse, and more. This book contains the full explanation of Christian science and its biblical foundation of spiritual healing. They hold 2 services a week. Their Sunday service has music, singing, scriptural readings, prayers, and a sermon. The sermon is based on lessons from the Bible and their science and health book. Wednesday services are similar to Sunday service with an addition of testimony meeting. They have what's called a mother church, which is basically headquarters located in Boston. In Utah, they have a church house in Ogden, Vernal, Park City, and 2 in Salt Lake. They also have an online option to participate in. At Christian Science reading rooms, it's kind of like a library. It's open to the public. It's a quiet place to read, study, and pray. They have resources related to CS. It's not necessarily a place of worship, but rather a resource center for learning and spiritual exploration. Exploration, sorry. To wrap up, Christian Science is a unique Christian-based faith that emphasizes the spiritual nature of reality, all good nature of God, the power of prayer to heal. Its followers believe that understanding divine truth can bring freedom from illness, fear, and sin. Even if we don't all share the same beliefs, we can think about how our own spiritual truths impact how we face challenges.